This video will make you question reality. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
Greatest minds in history.
That's a great point. And I never really thought about it that way. Either we're alone or we're not. Both of those are scary. We're not alone. That's a little scary. We are alone, meaning we could potentially be the last all other life forms has ceased to exist. That's even scarier. We're holding on at this point basically by a thread. We're the last. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
It appeared. 10. The Phoenix Lights. According to urban legend, Arizona is among the best spots on Earth to see a UFO. Some may view these claims with skepticism, however. The state has consistently been in the top 10 states for UFO encounters per capita. However, hundreds of calls were received by law enforcement agencies around the state on one particularly busy night of March 13th, 1997, 25 years ago.
What's so special about Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona then? What's over there? See, I don't even think they'd be paying attention to that. You see a lot of activity, then you got to figure it's something there that they want, they know about, or something they're seeking out.
From individuals who claim to have seen unearthly lights in the Arizona sky. The initial reports of what would later be called the Phoenix Lights began at approximately 8:15 p.m. and were made in Henderson, Nevada. Many witnesses in that area and surrounding northern Arizona reported seeing a swarm of amber lights traveling in a V formation. The following night, at about 10 p.m. local time, several eyewitnesses in the Phoenix region reported seeing a swarm of lights slowly circling overhead in a broad arc, with some reports of them vanishing and then reappearing. It appeared as though the enigmatic Phoenix Lights could not be explained. The phenomenon was so remarkable that even those who claimed to be skeptics became devout believers that it had no earthly source. Investigations, blogs, books, and documentaries were born out of the events surrounding UFO speculation, conspiracy theory accusations, and hoaxes. At a news conference, Governor Fife Symington III even offered some credence to the rumors by revealing the light's real source, if only in jest, with the appearance of an alien, or at least a person dressed as one. As the sighting's anniversaries approached, the Phoenix Lights entered the folklore, sparking fresh discussions and inquiries. The lights reappeared over 10 years after their initial appearance. In what ways did they manifest? What gave them their origin? Were they military operations? A complex hoax? On the other hand, it might be an alien invasion. The most prominent and interesting theory that has surfaced is that the lights were actually released by spacecraft from another planet. The lights were said to be moving in a unique V-shaped arrangement, according to several witnesses, particularly those who reported from the north earlier in the evening. Many people think that that night, an extraterrestrial plane resembling a carpenter's square flew over the area based on these reports. Those who saw the lights later in the night and further south said they were more curved. Additionally, others reported sensing the presence of a huge black object that obscured the sky as it glided silently across the sky at a low height. In addition, they mentioned that when the drone was navigating and changing directions, there were instances when some of the lights would go out. The Phoenix Lights, for whatever reason, are now deeply ingrained in the local lore. Phoenix is...
What do y'all think it is when the lights kind of dim and go out? What would cause a light to kind of go out in front of your field of vision, right? Maybe something's beaming up to it, and as it gets closer, it kind of blocks the light for a minute. That's an idea. That's the only idea I got, though. That's the only thing I could think, because used to, I would think, and that's funny that I have the Phoenix Lights now. I have a name to actually attach it to, because I used to always talk about the formation, but I always thought it was multiple spacecrafts, multiple UFOs creating this formation. But now it could be one having the lights on there in that manner. So I'm gonna keep that in mind from now on, because I used to think it was just multiple.
Aware of the aliens' origins, even though Roswell does have them. 9. The UFO watch place on Earth. Texas's Aurora, New Mexico's Roswell, Bonnybridge. The modest Scottish town of Bonnybridge, located in the lowlands, may not be the first place that comes to mind when you think of UFO sightings, but it does have one of the busiest calendars for sightings worldwide. Bonnybridge has earned the moniker UFO Capital of Scotland due to the roughly 300 UFO sightings that have been reported annually for the previous 30 years.
Annually? Now, speaking over here, they say we have like 700 unaccounted for sightings, right? Everything else they can kind of attach to what it could possibly be, drone or something like that. 700. They're getting 300 a year. That's crazy. That's no. That's not normal, bro. What do they have? What's going on over there? We need to find out.
But why is this quiet hamlet such a hotbed of unidentified flying objects?
Good question.
Bonnybridge, in the valley of Bonny Water, is situated in the middle of Scotland, between the cities of Glasgow and Edinburgh. As Scotland's manufacturing sector expanded, the sleepy town found itself in a prime location. Bonnybridge was strategically positioned in the 1780s, while the Forth and Clyde Canal was being constructed, giving it easy access to trade routes across Scotland. Bonnybridge was at the intersection of 4 main railways, as it continued to expand as a result of the Industrial Revolution. Although the trains did stop down at some point, the development of motorways ensured that Bonnybridge continued to play an important role in trade and industry, and the community soon became home to a number of mills and foundries, including paper, saw, brick, and iron. Nevertheless, the village's heritage seems to be something completely alien, even if it has an incredibly rich history. The 1992 sightings at Bonnybridge are among the more famous ones. Local businessman James Walker was compelled to pull over on a country road while traveling from Falkirk to Bonnybridge. A luminous, star-shaped object was obstructing his path directly ahead of him, hovering over the road. After the object accelerated to such a high speed that it vanished into thin air, the understandably terrified Walker hurriedly fled the scene. Numerous locals and those interested in UFOs have spoken out since then, sharing accounts of their own experiences. Bonnybridge has been lovingly dubbed the Scottish Roswell due to the 300-plus annual reports of unexplained and mysterious UFO sightings.
Yeah, but is business thriving off of that? And I'm going to tell you what reason why I asked that question, right? This feels more like a distraction to me. When you have major trade routes and different things like that here, what's the benefit of sightings and stuff like that happening? Meaning people not wanting to be there, maybe the price comes down, something. That's why, to me, a little bit of this feels like a distraction of what they can manipulate either people to come there or people to leave there for some reason. But I bet it has to do with those trade routes. It gotta be something like that.
Regularly, drivers are shocked by sightings of cigar-shaped UFOs, weird lights hovering over them, and UFOs that buzz noisily over vehicles. Some have gone so far as to say that extraterrestrials abducted them at the Falkirk Triangle and then took them aboard flying saucers to investigate. What is it about the Scottish lowlands that attracts more UFOs than any other region in the UK, and maybe the entire world?
Something.
Similar to the Bermuda Triangle, the Falkirk Triangle has sparked extensive discussion about its potential as a portal to a parallel universe. According to certain theories, Bonnybridge is the perfect place to cross between dimensions since the veil between them is thinner than anywhere else in the United Kingdom.
What?
Some people think that the Falkirk Triangle is actually a celestial highway or stream that passes through Scotland's lowlands, similar to the Forth and Clyde Canal. But the scientific merit of all these proposals is totally up for debate. Some think the UFOs are a bit more terrestrial in origin, similar to Area 51 or Roswell. Cases of UFO sightings being linked to clandestine military training are not unprecedented. Many unexplained occurrences correspond with military testing, according to released documents, which makes sense given the development of aircraft and the requirement for secrecy surrounding new and inventive designs. The Scottish lowlands are perfect for flight testing due to their remoteness and undulating terrain. Hovering lights that don't make sense have long been a part of the Scottish Highlands. The gases released by the swampy landscape are a common explanation for ghost lights, will-o'-the-wisp, and other ghost stories. Some of the smaller reports of lights dancing over the moors can be explained by balls of gas, which have been seen all over Scotland. Nevertheless, concerns remain over the alleged larger and noisier incidents. 8. The 2004 event on the USS Nits. A training mission in San Diego on November 14, 2004, turned into an experience that Commander David Fravor will never forget, and an event that he still doesn't understand. Fravor remembered witnessing something that resembled a tic-tac that could outrun all known weapons at present. The Super Hornets we're using are all new. In a video interview with the History Channel, Fravor explained that it was an air defense practice between two opposing forces. Before the USS Princeton enlisted Fravor and company for a practical mission, everything appeared to be going according to plan. After making a U-turn, Fravor and the other pilots noticed something out of the ordinary. What looked like a sunken jet or a submerged submarine swimming wildly just below the surface of the ocean. "It's white. It has no wings. It has no rotors, I go holy. What is that?" Fravor said. Reportedly, infrared monitoring failed to detect any exhaust fumes, and the UFO lacked windows. Fravor claims that he wasn't hesitant to take a closer look once his curiosity was piqued. The vessel came to a surface, rose quickly, and started to mimic Fravor's flying pattern as it descended towards the lake. Suddenly, it sped past Fravor's jet's nose and vanished. Upon their return to the USS Nimitz,
that's the part where that confuses me right there. This thing, you don't know what it is, flies up near you, flies around you, displays invasive maneuvers and different things like that, and you don't receive no orders to engage? Something like that that could be a threat to our safety. You don't hear no one talk about, well, then we received orders to engage, lock targets on it, try to get a target on it or something. That don't seem odd, weird, strange to y'all? Maybe it's just me.
Fravor and the other pilots apprised the remaining crew of their experiences. Another pilot soon after took out in pursuit of the UFO, and this time he was successful. This pilot succeeded in locking onto the tic-tac.
Don't that seem late and made them come back then send out another pilot? Seems very manipulative.
After it was first leaked, the Navy formally published the video, but they maintained that it was never intended for public viewing. 7. The World War II fighter planes.
Professional pilots, both commercial and military, do see UFOs, but
A few U.S. Air Force personnel first witnessed what would later be referred to as Foo Fighters in November 1944. The term was taken from the Smokey Stover comic strip. The Foo Fighters were characterized as a sort of unexplained aircraft that zipped and turned through the skies with amazing ease and flashed red. The lights were initially noticed by Lieutenant Fred Ringwald, who happened to be a passenger in a night fighter aircraft flying above the Rhine Valley. 8 or 10 of the planes, according to the airmen, were seen lined up in a row. The crew contacted the ground radar team out of concern that these could be enemy aircraft, but they found no unusual activity. As one pilot readied his plane for combat, he noticed that the lights had gone just as fast as they had come. However, the sightings continued beyond that point. Midway through December 1944, another pilot reportedly witnessed a dazzling display of green and red lights arranged in a T formation. However, the lights vanished almost as rapidly as they had emerged. The enigma of the lights persists despite numerous attempts to explain them, such as blaming the airmen for combat fatigue, attributing them to strange meteorological phenomena, or even claiming they originated from revolutionary Nazi technology.
Really?
6. Australia's flying saucer.
A teacher who claimed to see UFOs hovering over a Melbourne school.
A flying saucer was spotted hovering above the grounds of Westall High School in Melbourne, Australia, by more than 300 pupils and staff at approximately 11 a.m. on April 6, 1966. the round humped object with a flat base being circled by what seemed to be light aircraft was reportedly witnessed by children and staff. According to accounts of the period, the UFO was characterized as gray or silver gray in hue, but neither its altitude nor the duration of its visibility was specified. Because several witnesses reported seeing 3 saucer-shaped objects, the question of whether there was a single UFO or multiples arose. Several youngsters reportedly collapsed and became ill with fright after seeing the UFO, according to a 1960s newspaper article. "I saw a craft, a mechanical object intelligently controlled hovering above me," Mr. Andrew Greenwood, a science teacher at the time, told a 7 News Spotlight documentary in 2021. 5 planes allegedly circled the object for 20 minutes, as if trying to hurt it, before it finally took off. 5. Alien sightings in Zimbabwe.
The ZBC and the BBC correspondent in Harare saying they sighted an unidentifying flying object last night.
Near Ruwa, Zimbabwe on September 16th.
Crazy, right? Because what you're thinking in your mind is the same thing I think in my mind often. So you mean to tell me all of these people are just lying and just making this stuff up, including these kids that we just dealt with? Now, we all know kids have vivid imaginations. Not going to argue and dispute you there. But kids, along with Zimbabwe, along with these other places, Roswell, different places, Phoenix, Arizona, here. So everyone's just seeing things, huh? Okay.
16th, 1994, 62 students at Ariel Primary School witnessed the landing of one or more silver craft on a nearby field. Afterward, human-like creatures dressed in black bodysuits and sporting long hair resembling humans began to approach. Their eyes were the size of rugby balls. The extraterrestrials then used telepathic communication to convey environmental messages, urging humanity to preserve the Earth.
Warning.
The students, whose ages ranged from 6 to 12, were enjoying playtime outside while their instructors were in a meeting. The claimed incident occurred at this time and lasted for approximately 15 minutes. Even though not every student at the school saw anything that day, some of the ones who did insisted what they saw was real. Scientists went to the classroom and had the students sketch what they saw while it was fresh in their minds. Hofer stated that the majority of the kids' accounts were very consistent of a short-looking being, and that a lot of them described very large eyes in reference to the humanoids who were supposedly seen emerging from the vessel. The most challenging aspect, according to one who spoke to the Sunday Mail in 2021, is that they still don't know what it was. The children.
Interesting, right? Warnings. Kids received warnings. So for everybody who, or for anyone who thinks, man, we're going to see them one day when we get to the point to where this planet is just in, I don't want to say, because I feel like we're in dire need now, but at the place of no return, at the point of no return, we pretty much destroyed this planet pollution-wise and other various ways, global warming and stuff like that. That may be the day we actually see them.
Who were examined by Dr. John Mack, a psychiatrist from Harvard University, and the head teacher at the time, both claimed that the children's stories and paintings were identical. Skeptics, however, have dismissed the event as a case of mass hysteria. 4. Red and green lights, UK. Members of the United States Air Force stationed in Suffolk, UK, near Rendlesham Forest, reported seeing green and red lights in December 1980. These were reported to have happened on 3 successive evenings leading up to the new year, with the lights falling into the woodland from the sky. After remaining silent for 36 years, U.S. Air Force officer Steve Longero finally spoke out in December 2016 about seeing green and red neon lights floating over treetops. When a group of servicemen ventured into Rendlesham Forest to look into the odd lights and came out believing they had seen an alien spacecraft, the episode became a topic of intrigue in the UK. A supposed Special Air Service source stated in 2018 that the extraterrestrial sighting was a fake, despite the fact that this cannot be verified. They claimed that after the U.S. Air Force captured a squad and brutally questioned them, the SAS sought retribution. The apparent UFOs, according to the British...
But you brutally questioned them. So, yeah, if I'm being brutally questioned, my story may change too.
Ministry of Defense were probably created by a succession of nocturnal lights. Witnesses claimed that military officers saw an unexplained glowing object in the woodland that was brightly lighted and appeared to be metallic. They said they saw odd symbols engraved on the object's surface and that the encounter left them with a variety of psychological and physical side effects. The Rendlesham Forest incident is still mysterious even after a formal military investigation.
Wow.
3. Encounter on the Moors. While strolling across Yorkshire's Ilkley Moor on December 1st, 1987, a retired police officer asserted that he had an encounter with an extraterrestrial being. The individual, who goes by the alias Philip Spencer, attempted to capture a photograph of the creature, which then made a gesture towards him before fleeing. Then, he witnessed a white object with two saucer-shaped parts stacked on top of each other ascend into the sky and vanish. Spencer went on to say that his compass had broken because of the meeting, and that he had returned to town 2 hours later than anticipated for whatever reason. Experts examined his photo and determined that it did not contain any animals or signs of manipulation. Nonetheless, the image quality was too blurry to be certain. Spencer did alter his story following a hypnosis session when he accused that he had been kidnapped. He claimed that after being shown around the UFO, he was subjected to experiments and had to view recordings depicting end-of-the-world scenarios before being brought back to Earth. Strange, isn't it?
Very.
2. Unexpected arrival. A ramp employee at Chicago, USA's O'Hare International Airport, saw a metallic, saucer-shaped craft floating in the sky at approximately 4:14 p.m. on November 7th, 2006. As United Airlines Flight 446 was getting ready to take off, the employee informed the pilots, airline executives, and technicians on board. 12 employees, including some passengers from other planes landing at the airport, verified the sighting. Witnesses said it was a dark gray, disc-shaped craft that was obviously not clouds.
I don't care where I needed to be on the planet. I don't care. We're not going. I'm staying home. That trip is canceled, bro. I stroll out to an airport and I see something like that in the air. Yeah, no thank you. I'm not getting in the air with that thing. Absolutely not.
The object allegedly soared into the sky at great speed after remaining motionless for around 5 minutes, causing a gap in the clouds to close before taking flight. A supervisor from United Airlines did notify people in the tower about the incident, even though air traffic controllers did not observe the object. The FAA classified it as a weather phenomenon, similar to a hole-punch cloud, and declined to conduct an investigation since radar did not detect it.
They don't want to stop. A lot of people losing money. They don't want to stop.
Do we expect them not to have alien techs that can avoid detection? 1. Oumuamua. Extraterrestrial UFO or meteor. The intriguing but seemingly unheard theory put up by highly qualified scientist Avi Loeb, who chaired the astronomy department at Harvard and taught there, is that the asteroid Oumuamua is actually space debris from an alien construction or a long-gone alien spacecraft.
And it could be the mothercraft of the crafts that we're seeing on this planet. They could have all came off of this one spaceship if we believe that this is a UFO. It could come right off of here. And that's just sitting out there, allowing them to park and then go and then come back and then go and then come back and report and bring back data and information.
Uninitiated, this may sound completely insane. Then again, Loeb is well versed in the workings of space. Truthers may be feasting on the Oumuamua idea, but Loeb's colleagues are highly disappointed and upset that he's posited what they're calling an insult to honest scientific inquiry. According to research conducted in March 2021 by astronomers from Arizona State University, the object in question is thought to be a nitrogen iceberg that has shattered off a planet similar to Pluto in another star system. It would partially describe the object's reflective properties. Loeb argued back that the piece couldn't have come from anywhere other than a planet with an implausibly high density. Thus, this unexplained piece of space junk remains a mystery. Thanks for watching another episode.
Don't y'all find it interesting that as soon as you go against the grain, they label you as a disgrace? They looked at Avi as a disgrace now because he thought differently. Isn't that what scientists do? But the fact that you're not pushing the agenda they want you to, then you start being viewed as and looked upon as a disgrace. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? Man, bro, like, where's the people that support you when you're doing it for other causes and different things and you're doing research and stuff like that and it seems so far left? They're there with you then, but as soon as you go in this direction, oh, you're looked at as a disgrace. Well, I guess I'm a disgrace then. It is what it is. Been called worse. You know what I'm saying? Listen, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know what you thought of this video. I did not believe in aliens until I saw this was the title. Stick around and stay tuned, man. Till the next one, I'm gone.